solve the equation x squared plus 1 equals 0. We have here a quadratic equation, and we know that we could use the quadratic formula to solve any quadratic equation, but in this case we would ask, why bother using the quadratic formula? This is not a difficult quadratic equation to solve because x only appears one time, so we can easily undo the operations that we did to x and get an answer without having to resort to this quadratic formula and plug in values and do a lot of computing. We'll just write down the answer. So let's do that. Let's subtract 1 from both sides. So we get x squared equals minus 1, and we'll take a square root. So we get x equals plus or minus the square root of negative 1. And of course, this negative 1 is what we defined as I, this imaginary thing. So we get x equals plus or minus I. That is x equals I, or x equals minus I. All right? And we have answers. Much easier, faster, quicker, and much less place to make any sort of error than using the quadratic formula. Right? Also, something to note, besides quadratic formula, besides solving this way, another option for solving polynomial equations is to try and factor. This thing will not factor nicely over the real numbers because if we were to factor, we need to find two factors of positive 1 that added up to the x coefficient 0. So we'd have to find two, either positive 1 plus positive 1 would have to equal 0, which it doesn't, or negative 1 plus negative 1 would have to equal 0, which it doesn't. Those are the only two factors 1. So it doesn't, this polynomial doesn't factor either. Quick, simple, there's some answers. No need for the quadratic formula.